So now we can go ahead and try and finish off this skinning and just blend in the rest of the stuff that we haven't finished just yet. So let's take a look at what's going on here. Alright. So it looks like this fin joint, yep, 100%. So we need to start blending down, so we can do a 0.5 around this loop, 0.25 and then 0.1. So that's nice and easy. Let's loop 0.5. Loop again, 0.25, and then do the final loop around here. A few more extra clicks, just with how the poles are coming together. Let's loop 0.1. Alright, so there's a number of spine joints that are going to affect this, but you can see already that's looking a little bit better than what we had. So we need to start getting all of these spine joints to affect different sections of this bottom end of the dorsal fin. So let's go to spine 1. Actually, let's look at the head. So the head comes in, we got 0.25, and we could have some 0.1 on there. Let's just jump out of here for a second and just rotate this head joint just to see what it looks like. Actually, that's okay. I don't want to put too many influences around here, so we'll stick just to the spine. So let's move down to spine 1. And we can see there's probably, there's way too much influence on this already, so jumping down to spine 2, I could probably just click in here and click grow. And let's do 0.25. So that's bringing that down nicely. So at this point, there's no, before we had sort of a set pattern on the 0.25s, 0.1s, things like that. Right now I'm just guessing, just to see what actually looks good. So this is more of a visual and aesthetic viewpoint on it, so I'm just going with whatever I think will look pretty good around here. So this looks alright actually. So I'm just hitting the minus sign. That's going to take a 0.5 weight away from it, so you can see that this is set to 0.050. That means that I can get another decimal point layer of control over the weights on this. So let's do this. 0.25 is good for that. So it's looking alright. So that's twisting a bit better at the front anyway, so we've got a bit more work to do on it, I think. So let's set that to 0.25. So it's just moving back up to the first spine joint. Let's get some 0.1s around here as well. Alright, other side. And maybe these ones need to be 0.25. Yeah, it's going to work a bit better. And we'll jump down to these ones with a 0.1. Alright, let's just move this around a bit. Alright, so that's actually looking alright. We can go and we can paint weights over the top of it to make it look a bit better than this when we eventually come to finish up. So moving down to spine 2, just really thinking about where I want to place these weights for this guy. And we're going to need some stuff in here, so just going to hit grow, 0.25. It's bringing that back down, which is nice. Some more 0.25s in here as well. So there's no tricks really, except by using these decimal point numbers. That's probably the only trick that I've got for this, to be honest. This is really just, it's so visual, and it's it's really one of the odd forms of rigging is, spending some time and getting this to look right, getting deformations to look really good. It's quite a a difficult task in itself. So it looks okay. I think that we need some influence from the lower spine joints in here. Yeah, definitely do. So let's grab this. Let's have a look. Alright, so let's run around this point and up here as well, and we'll do a 0.25 on these guys. It's looking a little bit better. Let's pull this up. Alright, it's getting some nice pull on the skin. And let's move up these 0.1s. And duplicate for the other side as well. Alright, let's see how that looks. Yeah, it's looking a bit better. Now obviously having this much control over the dorsal fin, you know, we're going to get some really strange issues around here just with the pulling and stuff of the skin. But that's, you know, this is pretty extreme. And if the animator is using that a lot, you know, we could do some corrective shapes on that. That's not a big deal. So let's move this down to the final spine one. This guy doesn't have too much influence on it, it doesn't look like. So let's just grow this selection. 0.1. Let's have a look what that looks like. Alright, cool. And let's leave that for the moment. And let's grab a hold of this spine and just see what that's rotating like. See if it's still retained its nice deformation that we had before. Yeah, that looks cool. And it's looking a lot smoother around here as well. It's looking a lot nicer. Even on the twist, you know, it's starting to pull the geometry around a little bit better than what we had. Alright, cool. So the last thing, just to really finish off this deformation and make it look a bit better than what it does, is getting it into these extreme poses, and we can go in and start painting weights. So if I go back down to edit envelopes and let's grab spine 1, and if I just scroll down right about to where this the weights tool icon is, I can go and paint weights, and with paint blend weights on, I can blend between whatever is available on each of these vertices. So you'll see if I start doing this, it gets a nice softer shade of blue, or a more harsh shade, which indicates that it's going to a 0.5 before it goes to a 1. So let's pull this around, and you can see as we start to paint weights on this, it should start pulling the skin very slightly just around. And we can work on both sides, and obviously you can mirror the weights. If you get one side and you really work on that one, it looks much better. So let's move down to spine 2. You can see this really starting to shift around as well on all of the geometry now. Let's just put some up on the top of the head here. A bit more from spine 1 maybe. Might look a bit too crazy. So let's move down. Spine 3. Let's move that back up. And just do some blend weights around here. Let's really blend this down just to make it a lot more of a smoother blend across the full skin area. So right now I'm using a mouse for this. I normally really like to use Wacom tablet. I find that painting weights that way is a lot better, and in fact I really animate like that as well. A little bit strange, but it just helps me out. This is way more difficult for me doing it with a mouse. Lots of clicks, lots of dragging. Looks alright. Let's pull that a bit. Alright, let's see how that looks on when he gets into some extreme poses. So already that's looking a bit better than what we had. We still got some work to go around here. This is looking a lot nicer. And you can see that geometry is moving along a bit better as well. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to work on both of these fins. I'll probably just work on one side and then mirror across the weights when I get it looking right. And I'll spend a bit more time doing that blend weight and painting weights along the spine area and the head area just to get this guy up to where I want it. So if you go ahead and do that and follow me in the next video, and we can start working on some more of the rig.